As most of you already know, there was a terrorist attack in Las Vegas. Over 400 people injured, more than 50 people killed. Guy went on a rampage. Went to a country concert, just opened fire, and then ended up killing himself. First responders, the police, everybody who showed up, they're heroes. Absolutely. Now I'm going to show you some footage of what happened in Las Vegas. Again, I want to just make sure that everybody knows that this is some pretty graphic stuff. I mean, this is real. This is what really happened. And definitely watch at your own discretion. If you want to skip through it, you can. That's perfectly fine. But I do believe that this is stuff that people need to see. This is stuff that people need to know, and they need to really understand and feel the reality of stuff like this and the fear of the people who lived it, and why we need to A, make sure that we don't ever let something like this happen again, but B, also, how many people would have died if there was somebody else there that was close by with a gun who could have stopped it? Now you can see, you can feel, you can hear the panic from the people who are there. You can feel the reality of what happened. And people are going to try, and people already have tried to capitalize on this. ISIS has already claimed credit for this. ISIS. But that's not even the worst part. Hillary Clinton has gone full retard. The bodies aren't even cold yet, and Hillary Clinton goes full-blown retard, calling for a jihad against the NRA, calling for a campaign against silencers. She tweeted out that if silencers were used, nobody would have heard the gunshots and more people would have died. Now, first of all, that's just ignorant. Silencers don't silence a gun. It's not like it's in the movies. They make it quieter, yeah. Barely. Anybody who knows anything about guns knows that silencers, people would have still heard the shots. There still would have been that many people killed. There still would have been that many people running away. There still would have been what happened. Silencers would have had nothing to do with it. Now here's the problem. Here's the problem with Hillary Clinton and the left going after guns just because guns were used in a crime. Guns save lives. This is a fact. You can look it up. You can research it yourself. You can do all of the work to show and to prove that guns save lives. But other people have already done it. Private citizens with guns have a better record than police do at stopping crime. You know why? Because police show up after the crime has been committed. People with guns stop crimes while they're happening. Now, there are lots of statistics out there that I'm about to tell you, and you're going to learn things that you didn't already know. You're going to learn how important it is that an armed society matters and why an armed society is a free society. According to the National Safety Council, American citizens use guns to stop criminals and stop crimes. Private citizens, again, with guns, stop crimes more than 2.5 million times a year. That's over 6,000 a day. And most of the time, it's just showing it. It's just showing that they have a gun. Just showing that they're not a defenseless plebe out there just waiting to get picked off. Less than 8% are actually used to shoot somebody. Less than 8% are pulled out of their holster. Most of the time, it's just a brandishing. Showing them that you got it. Because it's a giant deterrent. Somebody comes up, give me your wallet. Oh yeah, I have a gun. Oh, never mind. Really, that's how it works. You know, and they also say that almost 200,000 times a year, women use a gun to stop sexual abuse, rape, sexual assault, domestic abuse. 200,000 times a year, women use guns to protect themselves. And the funny thing about it too is that even Hillary Clinton's own researchers back in the 90s said that 1.5 million times a year guns are used in self-defense. Back when they tried doing the whole assault weapon ban and all that stuff. Her own researchers, her and her husband's own researchers said 1.5 million times a year guns were used in self-defense. Again, that's 1.5 million times that the police who show up after the fact weren't needed because somebody responsible, somebody who had a gun was able to stop a crime or at least save their own life. And not to mention, armed citizens, again, have a way better track record than police do. Armed citizens kill more criminals than the police do. Almost twice as many. And only about 2%, 2% of the people who were shot by an armed citizen was not a criminal. It was an accident or it was something else. 2% of all of those shootings where an armed citizen shot somebody else, 2% was not a bad guy. Police rate? It's about 11%. 11% of a oops. Again, these are statistics. These are facts. So you can look them up. FBI, National Research Council, all these other people. People take time and they do these studies. They look for this information. It's not hard to find. In 2007, the number of concealed permit holders went from 4.6 million to over 12.8. And in that time, the murder rate dropped about 25%. In 2014, there was over 1.7 million new permits. That's the biggest single year jump in history. Not to mention, between 2008 and 2011, over 14 million guns were sold, according to the FBI. 20 million guns were sold between 2012 and 2013. And about a quarter of them were sold to first-time buyers. So what it all comes down to, essentially, is that the left, we already know that the left hates facts. We already know that the left refuses to live in the world of reality. They have their emotions, they have their opinions, they have their desires of taking freedoms away from normal everyday Americans. They have their drive to make it so that the government has to take care of everybody and everything, that human beings, that the United States, the people of America, cannot have their right to life, liberty, or the pursuit of happiness. And they don't understand it. They don't get it. They don't understand that the right to life also means the right to self-defense, why we have the Second Amendment. That all people could and should be armed to protect against enemies, foreign and domestic. It is time for Americans to stand up against the tyranny that is the left. They're not going to stop until we make them stop. They're not going to stop until we educate them, until we show them the truth. Because most of these people on the left, they don't know. They're just taking what they're spoon-fed. They're taking what they want to believe, what makes them feel is important. People like Hillary Clinton, she does know. But she has an agenda. She wants to get the votes. So she's feeding these people these lies. No, a silencer would not have made a difference. People still would have heard the shots. People still would have died. People still would have ran away. It is time to stand up. It is time to fight for what is right in this country. It is time for conservatives to start standing up. It is time for conservatives to get off their couches and stop just living their normal everyday lives, because their lives are about to end. Their freedoms are about to go away. Everything that conservatives and people on the right hold dear are in jeopardy, and there is not enough of them. There is not enough of you doing anything about it. It is time to stand up for what is right. It is time to stand up for what you love. It is time to stand up for what is really, truly important in this country. Don't let them win.
Free thought for free people.
Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed that video. If you want to see more like that, plus all of the footage that I'm getting on the ground with Antifa and so on and so forth, make sure you go to LibertyOneTV.com and subscribe. Make sure you use the coupon code CSC and you will be able to get the exclusive shows that I'll be putting on. YouTube has demonetized me. I can't do anything with YouTube anymore. YouTube is shutting me down. So now there is an alternative out there, LibertyOneTV.com. And it's not just me on there. There's all sorts of other people on there too, like Outlaw Morgan, Joe Biggs, and others. Make sure you go check it out. It is totally worth it. Trust me. And it's not even that expensive. I hope to see you there.